The killers recorded their own crimes. Men with phones in one hand, guns in the other, documenting their brutality frame by frame. Trophy videos. Gunmen, descendants of the Janjaweed, the notorious paramilitary force accused of another genocide in Darfur decades ago, have returned. Their target, El Fasher, the capital of North Darfur, laying siege for 18 months. The world was cut off. It was only from satellite images that the scale of the massacre committed by the paramilitary known as the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, in El Fasher became clear. First, the berm built around the city, designed to strangle and starve a population trapped under the siege for months. Then, the slaughter. The satellite images revealing mounds of bodies, as many as 60,000 murdered. And so much blood that the soil itself turned red, visible even from space. The satellites cannot detail the human toll on the ground. For that, you need survivors.
What is this?
We come to Sudan to document their stories, and that of a nation scarred by civil war, haunted by atrocities.
We've just arrived at the camp where people from El Fasher traveled hundreds of miles, seeking safety, seeking food, seeking medical care. We've come here because we want to hear their stories. They're eyewitnesses to war crimes.
ما بتتخيلوا الشوارع دي كلها مجدعة جثث بتاع ناس.
لما حدث إلى أهلنا في فاشر.
After 3 months of pressing the army-controlled government, we're the first American media allowed into Sudan since the massacre in Darfur. Thousands of traumatized survivors have made a dangerous journey from El Fasher to here in this camp. The weapons they faced: starvation, sexual violence, executions. From the refugee camps in Sudan's desert, we would follow the Nile to Khartoum, the capital shattered by 2 years of urban warfare. The front line cuts straight through the heart of the city.
This entire area of downtown Khartoum became completely uninhabitable. RSF posted snipers in these high-rise buildings who were targeting civilians, as well as the Sudanese military. When they left, they burned and destroyed everything.
The bodies of the victims are still being found, months after the government's army regained control here. Block by block, evidence of chaos and carnage. For nearly 3 years, Sudan has been locked in a brutal struggle between the National Army and the RSF paramilitary. The toll has been devastating. As many as 400,000 people killed amid widespread atrocities. Then there are the 13 million Sudanese displaced, and they are still fleeing the conflict. We're here to document the human toll behind the numbers.
We're following these 3 families that recently arrived from Kordofan province.
Of what aid groups say is the largest humanitarian crisis in the world. The Nile River is the lifeblood of Sudan. We crossed it where it winds through the center of the country. We would travel 2 days inland from Port Sudan on the coast, on isolated roads, through military checkpoints. Our destination, Al-Daba, and a refugee camp nearly 500 miles from El Fasher.
To reach here, survivors traveled hundreds of miles through the desert, many dying from violence along the way and also for lack of water.
This camp is a testament to the human costs of war and displacement.
The stories of those who fled here are some of the first eyewitness accounts to the siege and fall of El Fasher.
We were invited into the shade and privacy of a tent by 2 brothers who were among the few men who escaped El Fasher. Mohammed Abdallah Ahmed, an engineer, was among the more than 600,000 people trapped in the city, the Sudanese military's last stronghold in the Darfur region.
الحصار كان محكم تماما حول المدينة. ما في إدخال لكل أي مادة غذائية، وأي زول حاول ينقذ أرواح الناس ديل البلد بقت ما فيها حاجة بأكلوها، مجاعة. إحنا تدوين مكثف وذخيرة من كل الاتجاهات. أنت عشان تتحرك داخل المنزل عشان تمشي الحمام مشكلة.
Then, in late October, government forces were suddenly gone. That's when the RSF paramilitary, once known as the Devils on Horseback, celebrated their takeover of the city and launched a new campaign of genocide.
الشوارع دي كلها مجدعة جثث بتاع نص في الزول المات وفي الزول البنزف في الزول المكسر جسمه مقطع وقاعد ينده انه داير اسعاف.
How did you escape?
الناس كلها اتجمعت في حتة بتاعت جامعة الفاشر اللي هو اتجاه المخرج.
But then shelling forced them to make a run for it.
طوالي ثابت تف بيضربوا فينا كده. الناس قاعدة رفعنا يدينا فوق. أنا شخصيا هو عندي روايش كمية في جسمي ده ما طلع. دي في رايش في الراس هنا، ذات رايش اليد دي كلها عبارة عن روايش. بس انت هو ما صادفك ممكن بتطلع.
Most of the doctors here, like Ikhlas Abdullah, are survivors of Al Fasher. There, Dr. Abdullah once delivered babies. By the end of the siege, she oversaw only death, at the last hospital still standing.
Were children dying of starvation?
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of them were.
كمية كبيرة من الأطفال ماتوا بسبب سوء التغذية. حتى بقوا ما بموتوا عندنا في المستشفى.
Mothers would bring their children who were starving and you couldn't help them?
لكن ما هي حاجة للتغذية. ما بتطلعك من malnutrition.
On the day the paramilitary forces entered Al Fasher, Dr. Abdullah was supposed to go in for her shift, but she couldn't get to the hospital.
لكن ما قدرت أمشي لأنه كان التدوين كتير. الشارع كله تدوين فخلاص شوية كده قال لنا الدعامة بقى قراب وإحنا طلعنا بحالنا كده بس.
Faced with death, she escaped Al Fasher, making the dangerous journey to the Aldaba refugee camp. As many as 100,000 others never made it out of Al Fasher.
تقديري إنه الأطفال اللي كنا خليناهم ما أظن يقدروا يوصلوا هنا يعني بالتفاصيل الحق لأنه كانوا داخلين في سوء تغذية حاد يعني حقيقة. الوصلوا هنا بيكونوا يدوبك كده داخلين عليه ماشي على سوء التغذية لكن لسه.
Days after the doctor reached safety, she would learn the fate of her hospital in Al Fasher.
جيت زميلتي فارماسيست قالت لي الناس اللي هم طلعوا بعدي يعني الناس اللي كانوا في المستشفى كلهم قتلوهم.
The RSF would release video, trophies of their atrocities at the hospital, killing nearly 500 people and kidnapping 6 doctors, Abdullah's colleagues, for $250,000 ransom. Their fate remains unknown. Each morning, Ahmed Al-Zain wakes up in the camp with the 6 children she cares for. 2 are orphans, among the 2,000 children aid groups say lost their parents in Al Fasher. She took the boys in after their parents were killed by the RSF.
الدانات بقوا كثير اننا جينا جارعين لقينا الشفة امهم وابوهم ميتين في السوق يلا شلناهم حملناهم طلعنا بهم.
The boys became part of her family, even though they were all already starving.
Tell me about the starvation that was happening inside Al Fasher.
الجو بقى لنا الجو ما في تغذية عشان كده والجسم فقدت ويلا طلعنا.
During a lull in the shelling, her son, Mohammed, now 19, ventured out with his phone, recording what he could.
Where are you when you're filming this?
كنت أنا راكب فوق في عربية بتاع قريبنا واحد.
For months, he remained in the house, helping his mother.
How did you feel about your mother bringing in 2 orphans into your family?
اللهم حياتنا بدي إذا بقى أحلى كما هم من زمان جونا على سيجا حياتنا بقى سمح يوم ما رجعتنا جانين ولهم كده.
But then came an ultimatum.
قدام طلعوا خطاب في اللايف قال أي المواطن في الفاشر ما أحلى يطلع أسرة شباب.
17 people, one extended family, snuck out by night. But there was still terror ahead. Rogue RSF units were kidnapping boys.
Can you talk about the danger to the young men who are here?
أنا ذاتي عندي 6 ولد خفت بمسكوهم وتدفع قروش حتى يفكوهم ما عندنا قروش.
When there was no food, how bad was their health? Were you worried they were going to die from starvation?
خفت شديد والشوفة ده عدم يلا منذر ده الجول كتير قلت يموتوا من الجول يلا الحالة ده وكجل الولد ده خفنا شديد.
They walked until they reached a village.
والله يلا ما في أكل يلا إلا الأنباس.
Anbas, dry animal feed.
تجيب الأنباس تبلي بالموية تشربه.
The children would survive on the animal feed, rationed to a single meal per day. When they finally reached here, the boys received treatment for malnutrition.
How much more weight do they have now than when you were in Fasher?
في الفاشر عمرنا 4 كيلو بس 4 كيلو وحس الحمد لله جينا هنا والله الحمد لله هسه بقى 15 كيلو عمران ومنزل حس الحمد لله صحة 100% 100% الحمد لله.
What do you think is their future?
بقولهم يلا ربنا يربيهم ويبقوا كبار ويتعلموا يقروا يتعلموا يبقوا دكاترة يبقوا فوق نتمنى لهم كده من الله.
As they wait in this scorching, dust-choked desert, they follow the war on their phones. The RSF rampage keeps advancing, destroying more cities. On the side of the tent, one of Ahmed's nieces, 6 years old, draws with chalk.
And what's this right here?
طلقوا.
Did you see that happen?
أي.
وين؟
في الفاشر.
They escaped Fasher, but the war is still with them. Across Sudan's vast Nubian desert, the camel herders who cross our path follow routes older than the state itself. We're headed to the capital, Khartoum, a symbol of the state's collapse. Fighting raged here for 2 years before the Sudanese army declared the RSF driven from the city.
Downtown, still pretty lifeless.
What remains tells much of the story.
What happened in Khartoum wasn't a single moment. It was a slow motion unraveling. This was the lobby of a high-end hotel in downtown Khartoum. What the RSF did was they brought a large caliber machine gun in here. They used this for cover during the fighting.
Entire districts of the city fell under the rule of RSF checkpoints, sniper positions, and systematic looting.
Wow, look at this. A scale still here from a pharmacy, completely looted and destroyed. The RSF occupied this area of the city for more than 2 years. You even see pills left behind from when they looted the pharmacies.
They targeted all of civilian life, schools, hospitals, even houses of worship.
This is pretty stunning. This massive cavernous mosque called Martyrs Mosque, we're told RSF fighters committed acts of sexual violence here inside this mosque.
We met 21-year-old Iman Hassan right on the former front line. He's among the first of more than 3 million people displaced from this city to return.
When did you come back?
المقرن رجعنا لي أسبوع كده وضع خراب شديد لغاية رجعت بلدي هنا جيت عشان أصلح البيت وأعمر.
But first, they must deal with the demons of the past. We arrived in the neighborhood of Dame al-Sharkia, scene of some of the most intense urban combat.
Several months ago, this was a war zone. It would have been deadly to be out here.
Across Khartoum, they must rebury the dead, from makeshift graves where families had to bury loved ones in gardens or schoolyards.
They're taking the bodies away now from this school. The RSF didn't allow their families to retrieve their loved ones, and it's only finally now happening.
في المدرسة دي بيقتلوا الناس برا وبيجوا مانعين الناس من إنه يمشوا يدفنوا في المقابر.
Muyani Salwa, who stayed here during the war, says there were even worse atrocities.
One thing we've heard about is sexual violence committed by RSF. Did that happen here?
في بنات يعني بجد ساقوا من أهاليهم ما بتمشي بالحسنى بيغصبوها.
Salma al-Khalifa, a government minister responsible for combating violence against women and children, tells us sexual violence erupted in the capital. A warning, the atrocities she describes are horrifying, but we think important to report.
They took away some women, and then there's a mass rape happened. And then when they get pregnant, they're happy that they're pregnant.
Do they know what they're doing is evil?
Yes, they know.
Sexual violence as a weapon of war. How is it weaponized?
It was not individual cases. It was not like 1, 2, 3 people. It was always like hundreds. When they're attacking women in very patriarchal communities like Sudan, they're attacking men through the bodies of women.
The RSF is advancing after the Darfur and Fasher massacre into Kordofan state, a campaign to reach once again the capital. We went to a junction on Khartoum's outskirts, hoping to meet people fleeing the RSF's new advance. We did, immediately.
This family we met, they just arrived from North Kordofan seeking safety.
Ibrahim Ahmed Abdullah Razik and his extended family barely escaped. There are 14 of them crowded into and onto this vehicle.
This is the drop-off point, a bus station, and we're seeing other vehicles arrive, just like this one.
Abdullah Razik's party takes a taxi to the home of relatives.
How dangerous was it for your family before you left?
يعني بشيلوا أي حاجة في البيت، أنت بترضوك تطلع كأصار. أمرك بجيد لك بس تنفذ بالروح اللي عندك أنت بس الخارج بقى. أوصل نوم ده ما في يعني سلاح شغال ذاتهم يعني سمار جينا راح اللي هنا بارطاق عشان الأمان وذاتهم من الناس بيقتلوا تطفي من نار حبة.
The timing, extraordinary. The day we asked to meet Dr. Jamal Eltaeb, the surgeon who ran the last standing emergency facility near the front line.
Trauma.
He said, come today, and you'll meet a special patient.
This is the operating theater.
No details. Until during the tour of the hospital, the director stops. He tells this 15-year-old girl who we are.
She wants to say her name.
What is your name?
My name is Noon.
N-O-N, Noon.
That's a beautiful name.
Noon's story is what war looks like up close.
Why is she here?
Hidden by a drone.
Even by the horrific standards of this war, what you're about to see is shocking.
This is her thigh bone.
For 16 months, she has lived with protruding bones.
The other side, again.
Noon and her family were living on an island at a bend in the Nile River, occupied by rebel militants. The drone killed her sister. Saving Noon's life meant moving her across the river to a hospital still in RSF-controlled territory. She was there for 6 months. Then her family, due to the fighting, moved from one part of the city to another.
مع النزوح والشك العظم بس كان اتكسر. هم من هناك جينا هنا.
خايفة؟ We knew about her from one of our volunteers that there is a little girl just lying at home, nobody helping her.
But why did it take so long for her to be here getting the operation that she needs?
Part of the time because she was surrounded by the RSF. The other part of the time is poverty. So we sent for her. We were going to treat her for free, everything we provide to her, even food, medications.
Dr. Eltaeb has spent years treating cases like Noon's. In 2025, he was awarded the Aurora Prize, which recognizes people who risk their life to save others. For nearly 2 years, as war tore through Khartoum, he and a small, determined team ran the city's last major lifeline.
Here's the bed.
As the war raged, the hospital was his world.
You slept in this bed sometimes?
Yeah, often. Very often. This hospital has been targeted 4 times directly.
With what?
Missiles, shelling.
Missiles and shelling.
Drones.
You could have left.
Yeah, no problem.
As many millions have done.
Yeah, but we chose, not me alone, me and other colleagues. We thought at that time this is the right choice to do. It's the right thing to do.
Did you ever see victims of torture?
Yes, some of them died here. And some of them we succeeded to treat and save their lives. Yes, I saw.
What was your worst day?
That day when a bombardment and shelling happened in the nearby market. The result of that bombardment was around 200 injured people.
200?
200.
And they had to come here?
Yeah. And most of them are women and children.
On that day, the wounded came in on the backs of pickup trucks. He had to decide who could be saved.
Searching among the bodies, who is alive, who is not. That was a difficult day.
Noon's operation, a sign of hope for a brighter day. As Dr. Eltaeb scrubs in, Noon is already asleep under anesthesia.
The doctor's about to begin the surgery. He expects it to last around 3 hours.
It's not a simple operation. Few surgeries here are. Noon's father and grandmother await news, and we're with them when some comes.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine, okay. The doctor just said everything's going well.
كله من فضل ربنا إن شاء الله. ما كنت أنا هو القلق ده فيه لكن مؤمن.
Dr. Eltaeb tells us the operation was successful, but Noon needs more surgeries to walk again.
What job do you want someday?
Hey.
She says a doctor, like Eltaeb.
How do you not allow the human cruelty that you've seen make you lose your spirit?
Yeah, I don't know. Many times we thought that we are forgotten about.
Survival and bearing witness, a way to compel the world to confront the crisis in Sudan.